Hi Virgo, and welcome to your energy reading for May, Monday the 8th of May 2017. And have a general look of what potential energies are around Virgo at this time. For Virgo, we have the Ace of Cups, the Ten of Pentacles, and the Hierophant. We have the Five of Swords, the Page of Pentacles, the Page of Cups, the Ace of Swords, the Nine of Pentacles, and the Three of Pentacles. So, the first card that we have up for you guys this week is the Ace of Cups. Are we making plans for the summer? Is that what's on our minds this week? Are we looking to fulfilling a wish, having a new beginning, starting a new adventure? Are we looking at buying a new home? Are we looking at moving in with somebody? Taking the next step in an emotional connection? Taking a job that we love? But the Ace of Cups talks about an imminent new start, something that we're excited and enthralled about. It talks of our passions. It can talk of pregnancy and birth. Excuse me. It can talk of pregnancy and birth. It can talk to our emotions overflowing. It can talk of an intensity of passions. It's about trusting our heart, not being overwhelmed by emotions, and being open to whatever is offered. Don't mean we have to accept, but being open, being heart-centered. It could be an artistic pursuit. It could be a new business. Or even a new relationship. A new baby. Because we have it right at the side of the Ten of Pentacles. And the Ten of Pentacles talks all about the home life. The big picture. Not just the completion of a fulfilling relationship, but the family, the whole physical environment around us, our security, our stability. And it's about being in a place of appreciating everything we've already got. This is the card of loving what we have, not having what we love, appreciating everything we do have that is bountiful around us. It can talk about a celebration, so it could very much be a new family member, the birth of a child, the news of a pregnancy. But it can talk about a windfall financially too, or an unexpected bonus in the home environment, in the work environment, maybe a bit of a raise. It can talk of family gatherings, financial ties, family investments, family businesses. It can talk about doing things at the home, getting ready for a new event. Maybe there is a new baby and we're decorating the home and getting it all ready for the new member. But it talks about devoting time and money to our interests and to our home. Appreciating the special bonds that we have. And they're sat next to the major arcana, only major arcana in your reading this week, Virgo, and that's the Hierophant, card number 5, which talks of changes, and it could be changes in the way we see something. The Hierophant is the 5th card of the major arcana, and he talks to marriage ceremonies, business partnerships, the legal system, the education system, the churches and our religions. But he's a guy of knowledge. If he hasn't got the answers, he goes, seeks the archives and finds the answers. The light above him gives us an indication of him listening to his own intuition, listening to his logic, listening to the rational side of himself to gain an understanding. Now the Hierophant can talk to a Taurian around us at the minute, but he can also talk to the time period of the Taurian, and we are looking at April the 21st to June the 19th. So maybe we have plans regarding the family, the home, that will come to fruition around that time. The end of April to the middle of June. Or it was something we started last year that is now coming to its full potential. But in the 10 of Pentacles we have a completion of a cycle. The 10 reverts back to the Ace, which gives us that new start again because we've completed this cycle. Maybe we educated ourselves in a certain area to gain the tools we needed to get to this completion. Maybe by seeking our own counsel and talking wisely to ourselves gave us the success of completing this cycle. Then we move to the 5 of Swords. Now we have an Ace, a 10, a start, a completion, a change in the 5, and a change of 5 again in the 5 of Swords. So are we seeking counsel to find a different way to approach something now? 5 of Swords, it's the hollow victory card. In most decks it's depicted as us being the victor of the battle. We've won over our opponents. We've had strife and conflict. These could be verbal conflicts. They could be physical contacts with people. We won that battle, but nobody won really, because what was there before it if it say it was a friendship, we had the argument and there's no longer a friendship. It can talk about our truths, our words being too harsh, but it can also talk about our thoughts being too harsh. Our communication, or the way we accept our reaction to certain communications, can all be in question. We talk about opposition in this card. We talk about argument, unfairness, a feeling of a loss. We've lost something. Even though we may have won and earned victory, we've lost something. We've won the battle, but we're still feeling small. Maybe we had to lower our standards. We had to lower ourselves and behave the same as the attitude that was given to us. But we've known we've took ourselves out of a good vibrational energy to be pulled into this conflict in this card. It can talk about someone you've trusted being cruel, unkind, or even devious towards us. It can talk about the wounding of a friendship or a relationship, a business relationship. But it can talk about jealousy and the need to have power and control in situations. That can cause problems. It can talk about being overruled in a situation or ignored, and it can talk to communication within a family unit. So do we need to work on some communication within a family unit this week? Is the opportunity to have another go at this and work out some situation? It could be a religious one. It could be a commitment. It could be a contract in a family business. But a lack of communication in that department. And that's sat next to the Page of Pentacles. Now the Page of Pentacles, out of all the pages, he brings a offer of a bonus, but something tangible. He brings an offer of practicality. It does talk to our money. He talks to messages about money. Maybe a message about the family. But he talks of communication kicking back up. So directly after the Five of Swords, I would say there's been a situation where there's no communication, and the Page of Pentacles comes to say communication starts. It does talk to work, but it brings the gift of optimism and confidence regarding making plans to move forward. It usually brings good news about finances, work and education. It can bring you hope that wishes will be granted. It could be a pending job offer, or if you're trying to sell a property, which the Ten of Pentacles could talk about, ready for a new beginning. Maybe we are working on a home to sell a home and move, and the Hierophant is the legal side, the contracted side of that situation. You can talk about selling a property or looking to move. And if that's the case, it will happen soon. Just pay attention to the legal paperwork, which the Hierophant would say as well. Look at the fine detail of everything. Maybe we decided to make this move in the autumn of last year, or we want to look at moving in the autumn time of this year. And the card next to it is the Page of, I was going to say some of them, the Page of Cups, which talks to the season of summer. So maybe things will move in the summer. We will be looking at things moving in the summer. But the Page of Cups again comes with us to an offer. The Page of Pentacles, the offer he brings us, is very realistic. He's very realistic, tangible, trustworthy, and down to earth. Very grounded, methodical, and practical in his approach and the offer that's being given. And he's sat next to the Page of Cups, who is very optimistic, outgoing, imaginative. He can be a messenger of love, of finances again, but a more fun, lighter energy, being light-hearted about a situation. He talks about a time to enjoy the light-hearted side of life. Now, if we've been in the energy of the Page of Pentacles, he's very planning, meticulous in detailing, and maybe we've done that enough. By the time we get to the summer, we can enjoy ourselves and relax a little bit more. It's a card that gets us to look at how young at heart we are. Maybe there's someone around us who is very young at heart. But it talks about being good company. It can talk about love arriving. But it can also be in the respect of a creative project, or good looking finances, a turnaround in other areas. Now this is our second reference to summer. We have the summer forecast in the Ace of Cups. And that's followed by the Ace of Swords, which the Ace of Swords talks to the winter months. So we have a reference to the summer, winter and autumn. And if we read the Taurian energy in the Hierophant, we would be talking spring. So all 4 seasons are here. The 10, and we've got 3 Pentacles, 4 Pentacle Swords, which all talk about making plans for the long-term future, for the setting goals for the long term. working diligently towards things that we want to keep around for a long time. Now in the Ace of Swords, we have an ending to a situation. But of course an ending actually leads us to the beginning of the Ace. It's called the Victory card, and it talks about new beginnings, decisive actions, clarity in our thought and our judgment, but a determination to find solutions or spark ideas. It's a card about using our intelligence to gain a victory over a situation. It's all about making smart decisions, and they're that clear and smart, we see the victory of them straight away. We realise we have that light bulb moment from this card. If we had uncertainty or delay in plans, so if it is the selling of a house to move on, we've had a couple of offers. One might be, a more practical offer, but it's going to take longer to sell. There may be one come along that's more idealistically the offer you want. But by the time we reach the Ace of Swords energy, we are looking at having clarity of mind and being able to move forward. It's about being sharp-witted, and it does talk of a legal victory. So if the Hierophant has come in a legal capacity, and representing the law and justice, we can move forward. It does talk of having triumph in an argument or a debate, so we may have to speak our truths here. And that's sat next to the Nine of Pentacles. Now the Nine of Pentacles is the Independence card. This figure has worked hard, built up the empire that he has now around him. Is only one pentacle away from completing this cycle on the material realm. The Ten of Pentacles is also here. But the Ten of Pentacles is the union of the whole package. The Nine of Pentacles talks about our individual progress, all the things we've done in our life that we don't have to thank anybody for, we've done ourselves. The appreciation of how far we've come, the celebration of our independence. And even though we may well be in a relationship, we can still see how independently we've grown and matured and got ourselves into a very, very nice position in life. Now if we are looking at a birth with these cards here, I would say the Nine of Pentacles would come up as a reflection of there has got to be an ending to that independence, and only depending on ourselves. And we have to accept the working together with others to move forward. The Three of Pentacles talks about appreciating our talents, and others appreciating the work we do, appreciating the effort we put in, appreciating the crafts, the goods that we end up with. It talks about our reputation, our capability of learning, the performance that we put in, our security, and our completion to where we've come so far. It's about acknowledging the work we do and it receiving positive attention. It could be making a speech, organising an event, but demonstrating our skills to others, demonstrating our skills in a public environment rather than a private. This card too talks about getting a home ready to sell or ready for a new chapter in its evolvement. So it could very easily talk about preparing somewhere to sell it on, to move on, or preparing it, making renovations, it bigger to accommodate what we now need. It's about taking pride in our work, and the recognition that we get now is long term. It's about showing it off and being open and looking to the future possibilities of where it can go after reaching this moment of contentment. A new emotional beginning. Maybe a new way we look at how we communicate with ourselves and how we communicate with others. How we think about situations, how we react and respond to situations. By assessing that, we can have a new clarity of thought and speech to move forward. We have the 9-10 page in one complete run there of Pentacles, so the natural progression all the way is great. The independence of getting as far as we've got on our own steam, our own merit, our own hard work, the time we've invested in ourselves, bringing us to a completion, a happiness, a enjoyment, a fulfillment of our physical environment around us, our security, our relationships, our family, our friends, our work environment. bringing the awareness of methodical planning and things we spend time investing in reap rewards for the long term future. Seeking counsel, looking at the finer detail. And how we idealise connections. How we offer love, how we're open to love. And sharing our knowledge base, sharing the connections with somebody else. A brand new start in love, let's say. With planning, foresight, setting small and steady and secure goals towards, steps towards that goal. Bring us to a place of being where someone else appreciates what we have to give, what we have to offer. Seeking our own counsel about our steady approach on this scenario gives us clarity of mind and a new line of communication, a new line of thought regarding our independence versus working with someone else to make a project come to fruition. We're talking very much the material world around us, the family environment, our working environment. It can be a relationship, but it's not in our head, it's not in our thoughts, it's not in our heart and our wishes. It's happening in the practical around us. It may bring us to a point of having cross words with somebody and there being an argument or conflict. But the counsel, if we seek our own counsel and assess our emotions in the situation, we can have clarity of mind and speech. So a new beginning in that sense as well. The Page of Cups and the Page of Pentacles could be two children. We could be looking at an Earth child, Capricorn, Virgo, Taurus, and a Piscean, Scorpio, Cancer. We could be talking about two energies that are very youthful in their approach of coming together, or immature, which causes crosswords. We could have a Page of Pentacles in a scenario this week. Maybe it is a love situation, and we have a single Piscean, a single Pentacle, Earth character who is happy with the family life, happy with their environment, the work situation, and happy in their independence. And we could have a water sign that is seeking counsel and seeking answers and wanting commitments, wanting to work together in a unit, and this is causing conflict. And this says, listen to your heart. What does your heart want? The happy family life, probably a commitment of some kind, be it work, family, What is the mind focused on? The mind's focused on our independence versus working with others and sharing. We have conflict within ourselves, our emotional nature of the things we want, and our physical environment of the things we already have. We have to take time to think about these things and get clear on them. Right then, guys, with that, I'm going to leave that with you. We have a natural progression, as I say, of the 9, 10 and page, which I think should show this week. You know, the little steady steps that we're taking. We may make 2 or 3 steps this week that really secure us in our new beginnings. Well, thank you again for coming to see me, and I hope I see you again next week. Take care. Bye.